y'all. See, you may see me looking down because I am determined to see if the Facebook is really showing everything live and doing everything I needed to do. So I'm telling on myself, well, I look down to see and make sure it's showing up because the Facebook can be shady. So, good evening. I am so excited to spend this quality time with you. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Looks like we are showing up for reals, for reals. So I'm going to take that as um a happy moment that I feel like it is showing up like for real. So I'm so excited to be with you tonight. I am happy to be here on this Tuesday because you know what? It's Tuesday. We're just going to be happy that it's Tuesday. We made it to another day. And I am just happy to be here with you. So now that we got everything taken care of with the Facebook, I can be 100% focused on all of you. So welcome to Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka, where you can find me Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. I try not to hold you here too long, but I do love the quality time. As I told you, my primary love language is quality time. So this time I spend with you fills my love bucket. So it does a couple of different things. So I get so excited to spend this time. If you don't know me, I'm your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard trained, double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my adult telepsychiatry, my books, including Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, my public speaking, and corporate speaking, along with my podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka, that we will talk about later. I do all of this to help busy people like you that show up for work, you show up for your friends, you show up for your family, you show up for your community, you show up for everybody, but you don't show up for yourself. So I'm doing this to put you back in your life. So as you come in, let me know where you are watching from. A couple of housekeeping tips. The first one is, guess what? It's if you know someone that needs this, please tag them. The second thing is if you know someone that needs it, you can share. Sharing is caring. The third thing is that if you're watching it later, don't even worry about it. Put hashtag replay in the comments. I feel like these bracelets are clinking, so I love having the crystals, but we're going to take those off and sit them down. So thanks again for showing up tonight. I really appreciate it. Right before we get into the actual topic, which is the power of self-talk for better mental health, I'd like to just give you a few updates. So you may notice I'm dressed a little casually. Well, guess who finally got back on her Peloton? I'm sure my Peloton had felt like I'd totally broken up with it, had moved on to finer pastures. And one of the things I've told you is for a while I was pretty tired, which got in the way of me working out. So I haven't actually ridden this Peloton consistently this year at all. So today I got on it and finally did my 200th ride. No big fanfare, but I didn't need fanfare. It was just important to do it. And as I talked to you about showing up for yourself, I have to show up for myself too and do what I tell you to do. And I know for me, there's no other reason people can't tell me anything else that's going to motivate me to work out. I know it's good for my health, and this probably happens to you too, where it's good for your health. It's going to help your blood sugar. It's going to help your cholesterol. It's going to help your energy. It's going to help your sleep. To help you feel svelte. Will help you build muscle so that your basal metabolic rate is better. That you want to look sexy. You don't need me to tell you that. I don't really need anybody to tell me that either. So it's been a huge hump of getting over that hump to actually work out. So it was a big thing today for me to do this workout and to get ride 200 in. 200 has been queued up for freaking ever. I literally forgot that it was my 200th ride until I was on there. I did a ride that was not that popular, so I got one high five for the whole ride. But it is all good. The big thing, and what I would encourage you, is that sometimes it's just the showing up. That showing up counts. Showing up matters. Showing up for yourself means something. And I want you to do that. And sometimes it's done and no one notices. Nobody was there. You did it by yourself. And that's okay. The great thing about doing things for yourself is you don't need people to acknowledge it because you're doing it for yourself. So I feel like that can be something that can fuel you. So that's one of the reasons I'm a little more casual, because I was determined I was going to let one more day go by and I had not worked out. So that's what I did. And the other thing I want to share with you is I have these little cards. I keep them by my desk, and they're kind of cool because you can just get a new one every day and just see the little message. And the one today is don't be afraid to be amazing. So I wanted to share that to you. Don't be afraid to be amazing. It's kind of relates to my favorite quote by Marianne Williamson around our deepest fear. But don't be afraid to be amazing. So I guess you probably want to know what we're talking about. So today we're talking about this power of self-talk. You might be like, Dr. Ericka, why are we talking about this? Well, there are so many things that can impact your mental health positively and negatively. And sometimes on your own, there may be some things you can do about the biology, but you may feel like I can't do these big things that are going to be biological without medication, ECT, TMS, something. But I want to talk to you about some things that are practical, that are doable, that can really impact your mental health. And self-talk is one of those things that it can impact your mental health in a positive way, or it can be used for evil. So I want to talk to you about why I want you to use it as a tool to improve your mental health. Okay? So one of the reasons this is coming up is I was taping a podcast episode recently, and we were talking about actually art therapy and creativity when it comes to improving your mental health, and talking about how there was this freedom to create things when you're a child. Like, it doesn't matter. You can color anything, you can draw, you can paint. It doesn't matter if it looks like anything absolutely recognizable. You can sing totally off key. You can be on stage going, I'm a little teapot, short and stout, mess up all of the choreography, and it's all cute. It's all good. No one is critiquing it. And as we get older, all that judgment comes in, and we have self-judgment. And to me, one of the things about self-talk is it kind of comes in two forms. On one hand, you're telling yourself good stuff, you're building yourself up. On the other hand, you can be your biggest critic, and you're actually being judgmental to yourself and tearing yourself down. So that's one of the reasons this came up. So to frame this situation, I've got something to put up. Let's see if I can actually work everything correctly today. Some days I'm good with the technology, some days not so good. So let me remove this so you can totally see it. So we're talking about self-talk today, and it's one of the better seven, those 7 essential areas that are important for you to have that better life, that life that you were created for, that life that you want, that life that's meaningful, and that life that brings you joy. As you notice, there are 7. We have structure, sleep, self-talk, support, silence, supply, and steps. As you guessed it, we're talking about self-talk because I told you. So we're going back to the better 7, and we are talking about self-talk today. Let's see if I can successfully remove this off, because I keep having issues. Now, part of the reason we were talking about that self-talk, we talked about how self-talk being a positive thing can make you feel better. Being negative self-talk can make you feel worse. If you actually think about it, there's a key criteria. See, I'm going to give you all the facts so that you can sound really smart about your people. There is a symptom actually for depression called negative cognitive distortions. It's like the opposite of seeing the world through rose-colored glasses. You see like the worst shades of gray. Everything is just crappy. You think of the worst case scenario of everything. And to me, this negative self-talk falls in that space where you're becoming overly critical, and that can also happen when people are depressed, but it can also negatively impact your self-esteem if you're not feeling good about yourself. Just think of some things that happen as we get older, because I know my crew's just a little bit older, and the things you tell yourself when you feel like you didn't get the job done quite as well, or you feel like someone else is doing better than you and you're comparing yourself to them. When you gain a little weight, which has happened for a lot of people in COVID, and what you start telling yourself. And just sometimes we do not use good language, but that negative language, that negative self-talk can also happen in depression. But at the end of the day, regardless if you meet criteria for any major mental health issue, is if you're having negative self-talk and you're being really judgmental and really critical and just telling yourself bad stuff. And I'm not going to say it out loud, because you know what? I'm not going to say that stuff to myself. Is that you're going to feel worse. If you're going to feel emotionally worse, emotionally tired, or exhausted or bad about yourself. That is not going to help you function better. Now, on the flip side, when we're talking about self talk and it's more positive and it's uplifting and you're your own cheerleader and you're reminding yourself how great you are, one of the reasons that's important is positive self talk kind of aligns with positive psychology. And when you have that positive self talk, you're going to fuel your prefrontal cortex. It's like this stuff up here. And that part of your brain, I know I'm just doing brain stuff on my head. I'm on one today. Is that area handles a lot of what we call executive functioning. So your ability to manage tasks, to concentrate, to focus, to get things done effectively, to problem solve. And when you're having these positive thoughts and positive self-talk, it's going to build more connections and those things are going to work better. And what happens if you're thinking clearer, you're getting things done, you're efficient, you're able to pay attention, is, you know what? You're going to feel good because you're going to do well in your work. You're going to get things done. The other thing about being efficient and being able to get things done is that then it leaves more space for yourself, more space for social activities, more space for rest, more space to potentially eat healthy, more space to go to sleep on time, more space to do quality time with your friends, more time to just sit around and breathe if that's what you want to do, if meditate. It just leaves more space for other things. And you're just going to feel better. You feel better when you are thinking clearer. That's one of the things that helps you feel better. So, one of the reasons I think it's so important to have this positive self talk is that it's going to build you up and it's actually going to help improve your clarity and focus. So, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want some of that? So, I want you to think about how we'll kind of do it both sides. Positive self-talk can help boost your mood because you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to remind yourself how great you are. And you're going to call on good things for yourself. And that positive self-talk, for some people, it's actually them saying affirmations. And there have been studies that when you say affirmations, your brain doesn't really know what's happened yet and what hasn't happened. So when you say those positive affirmations, it starts rewiring as if those things happened. So that positive self-talk can build you up. That negative self-talk can break you down and have you feeling more anxious, more depressed, more irritable, frustrated. So I just want you to be cognizant of it. Now, if you said, Dr. Ericka, what can I do? I've got 3 steps for you. One is to actually start listening to what either comes out of your mouth when you're talking to yourself or what's going on in your head when you're actually self-talking. Because some people, the majority of people, when you're having a conversation with yourself or you're kind of thinking self-talk, you're not saying it out loud. Sometimes you are, there's like mirror talk and those kinds of things. But I want you to start paying attention to what messages and things you're telling yourself. Because when you start paying attention, you'll start noticing what the tone is. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it critical? And then if you catch yourself saying negative things to yourself or critical things to yourself or judgmental things for yourself, you can stop yourself before you go down the rabbit hole of all those things and start saying positive things. And the other thing is just to practice giving yourself compliments. Practice being your best cheerleader. Sometimes it takes practice to start switching and get used to paying attention to yourself and saying kind things to yourself. A lot of times we will say things to ourselves that we would never say to other people. So I want to encourage you to practice. So we're going to be aware. You're going to practice. And then if you start hearing yourself saying negative self-talk, you're going to start switching it to something more positive because sometimes it takes practice. Sound like a plan? Yay. So thanks again for tuning in. This is your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard trained double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my telepsychiatry. My books, including Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, my corporate speaking, and my podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka. I do all this to help busy people like you that show up for everybody else, but don't show up for yourself. I do this to put you back in your life. So thanks for coming in. You can see me Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern for Growth Groove with Dr. Ericka. So happy to have you. The next thing is, my podcast releases on Tuesdays too. So let's talk about this episode today. So the episode that released today features Brandy Junius. You're going to want to hear this one because it's using art as a tool for healing, activism, and equity. So there's something for everyone. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter how much art you do. It doesn't matter how you use creativity. But there is something in here for everyone. So, you can catch the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, or go to betterthepodcast.com and you can check it out. So I'm excited that you can catch that there. Yes, so you can catch the podcast. The other thing is, if you want a little Dr. Ericka in your life and you think you could use some quality telepsychiatry, you can always check out my page, askdrgoodwin.com, askdrgoodwin.com, and find out more about my telepsychiatry practice. Sound like a plan? So first, I want to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for you. Take your left hand, put on your right arm, take your right hand. I can't count. Put on your left arm, give yourself a squeeze. You deserve a big hug. Thank you for showing up for yourself. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until next time, have a better day.